What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2010 movie Paranormal Activity 2. So this movie is actually a prequel to the first movie and follows Katie's sister Christy and her family. And in this movie, Christy had just had a baby named Hunter and everything, and they're adjusting to their new life with the baby and everything, and after their house gets like totally messed up and stuff by it's assumed to be robbers, although it's never declared whether it was actually like robbers or if it was a demon. It's hard to say for sure, but they end up putting cameras up around their house, and as the days go by, things start getting crazier and crazier with their house being haunted and stuff by this demon, and everything eventually comes full circle. After Christy gets possessed and stuff, the dad and his daughter decide to cast the demon out and stuff with the help of their old nanny, and they cast the demon out and send it to Katie, and it comes full circle and everything, bringing the end of Paranormal Activity 1 into this one, and explaining it pretty much just explains why the house was haunted and stuff in the first movie and everything. I totally forgot about that in this movie, like how everything just ties in perfectly with the first one. But like with the first one, I hadn't seen this movie in about 9 or 10 years. It's been a long time. I'd only seen it a couple times. It's the only one I saw in the theater. Me and my friend went to see it. We didn't really care for the first one, but we're going to the movies that day to see a couple movies, and it was one of the ones playing at the time where we could go, so we just went to see it and everything, and it was really entertaining. I really liked this movie from the get-go, and I still really love it. It's probably my favorite in the franchise up to this and everything. I don't know for sure until I rewatch the rest of them, but it definitely is one of the best in the franchise. It's really entertaining. I love how it just ties into the first one. The cast is great in here, and everything. Most of them I haven't really seen in anything else except for Molly Ephraim, I think is how you say her name. She was on Last Man Standing. I've seen her on a couple episodes of that, but most of them I don't really think I've seen them in anything else. If I have, I just don't really know for sure. But they're all good in here, and I think the movie had a bigger budget and stuff too, and it really shows. Like, you can tell this movie had a bigger budget, and with it being a family and stuff, it felt like the stakes were a lot higher in this movie and everything, and it does have a lot of really crazy stuff that happens in here. Like a lot of these haunted house movies, doesn't feel like there's any stakes, and even though I know what's going to happen, it does have some pretty crazy stuff happen, and it works perfectly, and it's still really creepy and fun to watch. I wouldn't say that it's scary, and everything. It does rely a little bit on the jump scares, but not near as much as say the Conjuring movies do, or a lot of mainstream horror movies do nowadays. Like the jump scares are still effective. They build up the suspense and stuff to make it work, and that's what makes me enjoy these movies so much. And this one's a really great sequel. The first one really didn't have to have a sequel, or it's actually a prequel. I don't know why I keep saying sequel. I guess because it has a 2 in the name, and I mean, it is a little bit of a sequel because we do get a little bit of continuation at the end of this movie, but I love like how this story was told, and it's pretty entertaining, and it's cool. We get to see like Mika and Katie have little small roles in this movie and everything. I like how it just ties everything together. To me, it works perfectly, and this movie just is really really entertaining and a lot of fun to watch, and I've always really enjoyed it and everything. Like I said, it's maybe not the greatest movie ever made, but it's still a really good sequel and everything. I actually think it is. I still say that it's better than the first one, but I can't really speak for all the other sequels because I've only seen the other ones once, except for the marked ones, which I have only seen half of it. I never even got to finish that one. So I'm looking forward to continuing this franchise. I'm wanting to try to do one each week until the new one gets out, so hopefully I can continue that over the next few weeks. But yeah, I really love Paranormal Activity 2. I think it's a really great sequel and a really great movie in this franchise that I'm starting to really become a big fan of. I wasn't a fan of it when it was first starting out, but it's really grown on me, and these movies have kind of fallen under the bus after a while. People just stopped caring about them and stuff. They were huge for the first few years, and then they just kind of dropped in popularity. But they're really fun movies, and this one is really good too and everything. So I'd say I'd give Paranormal Activity 2 a 9 out of 10, the same that I gave the first. I think it's a really great sequel or prequel that expands on the lore and stuff of the first movie and does it really well. And it's really weird when you get prequels that do that, because a lot of times prequels just feel really unnecessary and stuff and give you answers to questions you don't really ever care to have answered. And you could say that with this one, but at the same time I think it's cool the way it just ties into the first one so well. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Paranormal Activity 2, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.